Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Raw review. Before we get into Raw, there's a couple things I need to say. First, this Raw, I'm going to say it's a special Raw because of what's going on today. What's going on today is one of my subscribers, I know the guy personally, is having his birthday today. I've known this guy for 22 years, and I know what you're thinking. I thought you were 22. If you know someone for 22 years, it must be like someone that you grew up with. Well, I did. I did grow up with this guy. He's like a brother to me, no pun intended. And if you understand what I mean by that, yes, he is my brother. He's celebrating his 29th birthday. If you're watching, happy birthday. I hope I'm the last one of the night because you remember your last birthday wish, or your last birthday. Celebrator person, or the person who says happy birthday to you. But yes, I hope you enjoy your new car you got, and I know you're gonna have a great birthday because you got so far everything you wanted. But before we start with Raw, there are two other things I need to talk to you about. First is Dolph Ziggler. Apparently Dolph Ziggler is getting punished for something that was said at SummerSlam. What was said at SummerSlam must have been so bad, so drastic, that WWE is punishing him and threw him into this whole Triple H storyline to punish him that way. Here's the thing. He hasn't even had his World Heavyweight Championship rematch yet. He needs his rematch at this World Heavyweight Championship. Now, Del Rio is the current champion, and he does have a match at Night of Champions. But we don't know who's going to win that so far. And I will be giving you predictions on Night of Champions come Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Okay? Because I'm off till Friday. Now, they mentioned what our pre-show is going to be for Night of Champions. And this still makes it to where not all titles are on the line. And I've looked into the Night of Champions poster a little bit more. It's a guy holding up the Intercontinental Champion, and he's like, yeah. That's basically what the poster is. Okay. Who is that guy though? Is the question. It's Kofi Kingston. Now, my question for you is, why is he holding up the Intercontinental Championship if the Intercontinental Champion is already going to be in a handicap elimination match against CM Punk? Shouldn't he at least put the title on line against Kofi Kingston if Kofi Kingston is the poster child of it? But the Intercontinental Champion right now is not on the line. The United States title is not on the line. My question is, what did we do to get these crappy gimmicky pay-per-views? I didn't mind this pay-per-view at first, but when you started to have Night of Champions, every title's on the line at Night of Champions, and then you don't do it, when that's like the every title's on the line, the big, I guess, marquee or phrase, and every title literally is not on the line, like the United States Champion for 2 years straight now, then you got a problem. It's kind of like these are what we call the gimmicky pay-per-views, like Hell in a Cell last year. Every match was supposed to be inside of a Hell in a Cell. How many matches were in Hell in a Cell? 1. And that was your WWE title match with Sheamus versus not Sheamus versus Ryback, CM Punk versus Ryback. And that's it, because Brad Maddox screwed Ryback over. That was your only Hell in a Cell match last year at Hell in a Cell. Atlanta was so disappointed in that we only want to be known for the guys who hosted a crappy pay-per-view last year. It was terrible. That's how bad it was. I am upset due to the fact that Atlanta hosted that pay-per-view. I'm like 2 hours away from Atlanta, and I'm upset about it. the main question for me right now is, what do we do to deserve these crap-tacular pay-per-views? Okay? But the pre-show is a tag team turmoil, #1 contenders match for the tag team championships later on that night. At least the tag team titles are on the line. We had Tons of Fun versus the Primetime Players versus 3MB versus the Real Americans versus the Usos. Now, based on who wins this match will also determine my winner for later on that night. But I've got a pretty good idea on who's winning this match. Now we can get into Raw. Okay? We start off Raw with the Cutting Edge, and Cutting Edge is probably one of my favorite talk shows because it's got the rated R superstar Edge. And he comes out and he says that he was requested by Triple H to have a reunion with one of his old tag team partners. And he says, unfortunately, it's not Christian, and it's Randy Orton. And then he basically insults Randy Orton and says that he didn't speak. He was a terrible tag team partner, and that right now all Orton is Triple H's lackey. He's his puppet, and that Night of Champions Bryan will win the WWE champion. And he's like, you know what? I really don't want Orton as my guest host, so I'm gonna get a new as my guest. I'm gonna get a new guest. And that man is Daniel Bryan, and the crowd just chants yes, yes, yes. When Edge came out, the roof almost blew off that building. That's how loud that crowd was. Edge tells Bryan that they have a lot in common. That Edge sees a lot of him in Daniel Bryan. Let's see here. We have the fact that Bryan has been through a lot. The fact that he got screwed over at SummerSlam, and Edge says, you got screwed over, but I wrote the book. I wrote the blueprint on cashing in Money in the Bank. He then goes on and says that Bryan should win the WWE title, and Bryan is good for business, and then he gets interrupted by Randy Orton. Orton says that Canada is the only place to give a crap about Bryan, and Edge, in Edge's body at a young age gave out. And then they kept saying that like Edge has a 10-cent spine, and Triple H comes out and says that Edge was right about John Cena making it big time, about CM Punk making it big time, Jericho, and all this, that Triple H was wrong about those guys. But he wasn't wrong about one guy, and that was Edge. He says, because you were a failure, and your neck is basically what made you a failure. And then he says, and Edge says, well, you know what, I'm not employed here, but so I'm going to speak out. I think what you're doing right now is taking these superstars and basically making them into your puppets and holding and your power is unbearable. We can't take it anymore. And Triple H says, well, you know, I'm not allowed to. We can't hurt you, but I can hurt the ones you love. And the Shield comes out dragging Christian, and Edge is like all stunned, and he runs out of the ring and checks on Christian, and he asks for help. He gets help from refs, but we don't know about Christian's condition yet. So Edge then barges into Triple H's office. And Triple H at this point was talking to Stephanie. He's got a shield as a shield, I guess, and Triple H basically says, I own Toronto. I own this building. You're in my building. You're in my city. I'm kicking you out of my building. I'm kicking you out of my city. Ever since I stepped foot in this city, it is mine. Get out. But now we also know that he will be on SmackDown, more than likely to do the Cutting Edge again. The only reason Edge was there, though, was to promote the new season of Haven, which comes out Friday, 13th. have Kofi Kingston versus Curtis Axel, the poster child of Night of Champions, holding up the Intercontinental Champion like this again. Sorry, I like doing that because it makes me look stupid and them look stupid. Because the title's not on the line right now, unless they're like, oh, well, Heyman's, you know what? Actually, I'll get into what I was about to say here in a little bit because it's coming up. We then have Kofi Kingston versus Axel. Kofi Kingston won this by disqualification because Axel would not get off of Kofi Kingston because he kept like kneeing him in the spine. Heyman pulls Axel off, and they were discussing. He's like, "That's not CM Punk. CM Punk, we get him Sunday." So he's like, "You know what? You're right." And he starts going back towards Kofi Kingston, gets the Trouble in Paradise, and Heyman runs off. Heyman is like all scared, and he's like, "Oh my god." We then have what happens next. Heyman is seen in the hallway on the ground. There's water everywhere, and apparently he slipped and hurt himself. Now, unless they say that his injury was as bad as he really says it was, then I could see them changing this match, and then making the Intercontinental Championship online. Then maybe there's a little bit of hope for this match, but then your United States title is still not online for 2 years straight. Let's see if we can make it 3. Let's just see if we can make it 3 years in a row that the United States title is not on the line. If you don't believe me, go back and watch Night of Champions 2012. Antonio Cesaro just won the United States Championship from Santino Marella at SummerSlam during the pre-show. He was not even seen or heard from at Night of Champions 2012. So that was a gimmicky, crappy pay-per-view. No United States title on the line. I want to say that was also the year that Christian was the Intercontinental Champion. I think. But Shone is seen in his locker room and Booker T talks to him, and he says, you need to attract from business. You basically need to knock Daniel Bryan out when Triple H tells you to. If he tells you to jump, ask him how high. And basically, this is Booker T's heel turn. I told you guys several videos ago that they're going to do a heel turn for Booker T. This is your heel turn for Booker T. He's no longer the GM, and they gave him a heel turn. We then have Dolph Ziggler in another punishment match. We have Dolph Ziggler versus Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt wins this. They now have named his Bray Wyatt's finisher. He calls it Sister Abigail. Kind of a weird long name for a finisher, but probably the longest name of a finisher I've ever heard of. Unless you call something like the circling spinny drop of Ultimate Doom Bomb or something like that. I don't know. I was just throwing out some long name. Sister Abigail is a long name for a finisher. We then have Heyman. He comes on crutches with Curtis Axel, and he's with some other dude. And when he slipped in the hallway, he actually went into the trainer's room. And he says that he doesn't want the WWE doctor to do it. He wants his own personal doctor to check on him and make sure he's okay, because he doesn't like Canada health system. Well, he mentions that also. He says, I don't like the Canada health system. I brought my own doctor here. My doctor says that I tore my ACL, and I can't compete this Sunday. So Max comes out with Dr. Sanford, who's the WWE doctor, and they run this I guess you can say diagnostics in the ring, and the crowds are chanting, "This is awkward." I agree, it was awkward. The doctor finally said that that Heyman's perfectly fine. Since it happened 30 minutes ago from this segment, there's nothing wrong with Heyman. That he was faking. So Heyman's not on the match at Night of Champions. So what does this mean for Kofi Kingston holding up the Intercontinental Championship like this on the Night Champions pay-per-view. What does it mean? Does it mean that suddenly Heyman can't compete, so they're going to take Curtis Axel out, or they're going to take CM Punk out and replace him with Kofi Kingston, and then the Intercontinental title is going to be on the line? Because they do something like that a lot at pay-per-views. And this pay-per-view, I hope it's one that they don't do it on, because it's already a crappy gimmicky pay-per-view, where not all titles are on the line. So, CM Punk then comes out with a kendo stick, and he beats on the doctor of Paul Heyman. And Axel. At one point, he opens up the ropes. He told the doctor, he's like, "Come on, you can go. I'm sorry, go out." And then, as the doctor's getting out, he takes this kendo stick and just starts wailing on the doctor of Paul Heyman. I mean, he beat the crap out of this thing. And at one point, he has him up against the turnbuckle, and the crowd starts chanting, "That's no doctor. That's no doctor. That's no doctor." I did that a lot tonight. I don't know why. This was actually an okay show, but some of these matches were very good. But then Punk, he just starts wailing on him again, and the doctor finally rolls out of the ring. We then have AJ out on commentary, and this was a total divas match, basically. It was Brie, Natalya, and Naomi versus Layla, Oksana, and Alicia. And you can guess who won this match. Go ahead and guess. I'll give you guys 2 seconds. That's right, the Total Divas won this. Brie, Natalya, and Naomi won this to lead up to their match at Night of Champions for the Divas Championship against AJ Lee in a Fatal 4-Way. We then have R-Truth versus Alberto Del Rio. So, the crowd chants the crowd, when the crowd gets bored, I've noticed that the crowd starts chanting JBL, Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, or just some random stuff. And this match to me was actually boring. Really, there was nothing to this match. Who won this match? Alberto Del Rio, because he needs momentum for his World Heavyweight title, for his World Heavyweight Championship match at Night of Champions against Rob Van Dam. And I'll let you guys know if I think Rob Van Dam can win at Night of Champions prediction night, either Wednesday or Thursday. Tune into that. It's going to be a good show. We then have Zeb Coulter and his "We the People" speech, and every time he does it, I stand up, I put my hand over my heart, and I say "We the People" because of what goes on at work, man. We then have Antonio Cesaro versus a returning superstar, and who is a superstar? I am sad to say that we have a goofball who returned tonight. We have Santino Marella. If you noticed, if you watch Raw, Swagger wasn't there. And why was Swagger not there? People are still not wanting Swagger in their cities, in their states, in their countries, due to the fact of Swagger's court that he had. And Canada's one of them. Canada wants nothing to do with Swagger right now. Maybe after he cleans up, after everything gets all settled, after maybe a couple of years, maybe several months, maybe people will start letting Swagger into their borders. But Canada did not let Swagger in. So Swagger was not on Raw tonight, and that's then have Damien Sandow, your uncrowned world heavyweight champion, who he will win this, and when he wins this, he probably deserves that, unless it's against Cody Rhodes. The only reason Cody Rhodes is not there is because he was fired on last week's Raw. It's just for him to get married, and I'm sure he'll be back within the next 2 to 3 months. Maybe even a month. Maybe not even 2 to 3 months. Maybe just only a month. We then have, like I said, Damien Sandow versus The Miz. Sandow was talking about how he's Mr. Money in the Bank and how he's the crowned champion of the masses, and what will happen when he cashes in. Well, Sandow actually won this match off of a Fandango distraction. And when Fandango comes out, I start Fandangoing. I'm sure you guys do too, because I do it. It's kind of like when Daniel Bryan comes out and starts saying yes, and the crowd starts saying yes, we get into it. We all go, yes, 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 yes. If you notice, they both hold up one finger like they're number one, like Fandangoing. Daniel Bryan, yes. Just one is low, one is high. Sorry, I'm not smoking anything. You guys know I'm straight edge, so I just feel like having fun tonight. After tonight's show, I'm gonna play me some Call of Duty Black Ops and shoot some people. Sorry, it sounds kind of bad and mean, but that's what's gonna happen. We then have Goldust in an interview. Now, why was Goldust on Raw? Goldust was on Raw to fight for Cody Rhodes' contract, and in real life, Goldust is indeed Cody Rhodes' brother. They are indeed the sons of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Goldust, whose name is Dustin Rhodes, was named after his father, Dusty. So, they are indeed family, all three of them. And Goldust was interviewed and says that his family's been screwed over for the McMahons their whole entire lives. That really it's unfair that Cody Rhodes is fired, and Triple H comes in and tells Goldust that it's been 3 years since he's been on Raw, but here's the fact for it. It's only been maybe since January, 8 months since we've seen Goldust in action. Now, Goldust was in action at the Royal Rumble, and he went up against, momentarily went up against his brother Cody. Now, we all thought that would lead to a WrestleMania match, but it didn't, which is fine. But what Cody's been doing with Damien Sandow has been great. He needs to come back and do it some more. It's kind of like this Brock Lesnar CM Punk. They need to come back and do that some more, which they are. Goldust, what he tries to do is what Triple H tries to do to Goldust is he tries to make him more nervous, and to me it sounds like that he was trying to make Goldust want it that much more. He kept pushing Goldust's buttons to make him explode, and he was going up against Randy Orton to get his brother's contract back. And then we have Randy Orton versus Goldust, which was a very, very, very good match. This is probably the best Goldust match I have ever seen in my entire life, okay? This match was so good that the ending especially, the ending was, Randy Orton was going for the RKO, and Goldust reverses it and does his own version of the Crossroads. Not the curtain call, the Crossroads. And referee's going down 1, 2, and as his hand's about to hit the mat, Randy Orton pops that shoulder up, and Goldust was in shock. Everyone was in shock. They could then both get up. Randy Orton does a roll up, and it's only a 2. And then they counter each other some more, and then Randy Orton gets the RKO and gets the 1-2-3. So Cody Rhodes is apparently not able to come back. We then have Goldust walking down the hallway, and he's crying, and Stephanie basically insults the Rhodes family. Now, Stephanie and Triple H might be heels right now, but I'm still loving. They're still probably my favorite power couple ever in the WWE. I'm still a Triple H guy. I'm still a Stephanie McMahon guy. They're still probably my favorites, even though they're heels. People will do what they want to do. They'll be, oh, I like this guy because he's a crowd favorite, or I like this guy because he's a crowd favorite. Me, if I like you, I'm sticking with you. You're my favorite, like Edge was. Edge was a fantastic heel. He was a fantastic wrestler, but ever since he speared Brodus Clay, he got screwed over. So, we then have Rob Van Dam in his, what we will call his momentum match going into Night of Champions against Ryback, which when it was Ryback, I'm like, this might not be too good. Which Ryback got this whole, they keep changing Ryback's little Titantron. Not his video, not the top, not the sides, the bottom part. It usually, before it said Ryback rules, but today it was this metal, like, bear trap type thing with the teeth, and in the middle it had an R in it. Every time it opened, you would see the R, and it closed, and you didn't see it. So they keep changing that. They need to make up their mind which one they want. I don't care. I don't mind which one they do, but Ryback is apparently also going to be getting a push here in the next couple weeks, probably. RVD actually won this match because the match went outside, and Ryback picks up RVD and takes him and just slams his nads into the steel turnbuckle, and that disqualified Ryback. He then takes RVD, throws him in the ring, and then shell shocks him. We then have Show walking towards the ring to get ready for the big main event, and Stephanie's on the side, and she says, "You're not going to lay a finger on the Shield. You lay a finger on the Shield, we'll terminate you. Because I can't have you causing chaos." So we then have Dean Ambrose with the Shield versus Daniel Bryan with Big Show. So they had a special seat out there for Big Show. It's just a switch on the side. And Bryan was this was another good match. Great match. Crowd got into it. At one point, Daniel Bryan does his sky-high German suplex, and the crowd was chanting, "This was awesome! This is awesome!" It was awesome. But after the match ended with a Daniel Bryan did a roll-up, and he got him. As Bryan starts celebrating, Orton comes out, and Bryan then does a springboard and gets Randy Orton. She'll come over there and start joining the beatdown, and then Randy Orton comes into the beatdown. Show stands up, grabs the chair, starts walking over there, and they said during the match you can't touch the Shield. They never said anything about after the match. So my question is, why was Big Show hesitant? But this is all apparently leading to something. This whole thing with the Big Show being involved is all leading to something else in the near future. And I'll tell you about that after we get done with this part, which is the last part. We then have Orton goes back in the ring and with Daniel Bryan, and he RKO's him. Big Show starts walking up towards the exit, and Triple H comes out and says, "You're going to go back down there, you're going to ball up that fist, and you're going to knock out Daniel Bryan again." So Big Show turns around, goes back down, he balls up his fist, and he's hesitant. he's hesitant about knocking out Daniel Bryan. Because up there, he's like, I can't do it. So he turns around. He was about to do it twice. The second time, Orton was like, you're going to do what he says. You know what? I'm the face of the company, so you're also going to do what I tell you. You're going to ball up that big ass fist of yours. I'll even pick him up for you. You're going to ball up that fist of yours. You're going to knock him out. And I'll even pick him up. And Big Show's like, I'm not going to do it. And you're not going to make me do it. Of all people, you're not going to make me do it. So, as Orton turns around, he starts walking towards Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan does the running knee that took John Cena out at SummerSlam, which made us get a new WWE Champion at SummerSlam, Daniel Bryan. And that took Orton out. And Big Show leaves the ring with his big ass smirk on his face, and Daniel Bryan grabs the WWE title and starts yes, 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 yes. He starts chanting with, he starts doing these yes chants with the WWE title, like he's gonna win at Night Champions, which he might. This is probably gonna be the hardest one for me to pick so far. And that's how the show ended, was with him, yes, 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 with the title. Now, where is Big Show leading to with Triple H? They're thinking about doing a Triple H versus Big Show match somewhere near the future, somewhere down the lines of. And where to me it would be a good one to bring in your new pay-per-view would be Battlegrounds. Do it at the next pay-per-view. Because Battlegrounds is indeed your next pay-per-view. I'm not sure what their gimmick is supposed to be for this, but that would be a good marquee match for it. It would be Big Show versus Triple H. One, if Triple H loses, Cody Rhodes gets his job back. If Triple H loses, Randy Orton's no longer the face. If Triple H loses, this, and this happens, or if Big Show loses, he's fired. That would actually be a good one. But yeah, they're thinking about doing a Triple H versus Big Show match somewhere down the line. But come Wednesday, maybe Thursday, depends on what's going on, we have this. And what is this? This is United Champions Prediction Night. Yes, I'm writing out all matches written down. And you might have noticed that it just said the number one contenders for the tag team titles. I don't know who's winning it. The Rob Van Dam World Heavyweight Championship match, I know who's winning that. The Divas match, I don't know who's winning that. Tag team title match, it all depends on who's winning the tag team turmoil match. The handicap match might be changing. The WWE title match, I don't know, but there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. I usually have 9 matches on these things. Only 6. So apparently they're going to be doing something big with this pay-per-view. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this edition of the Raw Review. Happy birthday, bro. And I will see you guys next week for not the SmackDown review. What am I thinking? For the Raw review again. And tune in to the Night of Champions Prediction Night. And tune in to what I promised a friend of mine I would do at work, either Wednesday or Thursday. Whichever one I don't do, whichever one of these, whether it's this or the DX video I promised him, I'll do one Wednesday, or I might even do both of them Wednesday, or I might even do both of them Thursday. It just depends on what is going on this week. So I'll talk to you guys, or I'll see you guys later. You guys are awesome. I'm the World Heavyweight Champion, and I'm sorry, but I gotta do this one more time.